Did you know that when you live on purpose and with purpose, that you are less offended? That no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone does, and how they approach you, that you are unmoved and unbothered because you are more confident in who you are. Today, as we talk about living with purpose, we're going to unlock some things to help you to move from your past, your present, and move forward into your future. First, let's look at some things that we experience in our present. As you go throughout your days, have you experienced feeling attacked? That when someone says something to you, it feels like they're attacking you? Do you think that everyone is out to get you? Well, I'm going to help you, but this is probably not the words that you want to hear. This is not a them problem. It's a you problem. It's insecurity. And insecurities are based off of self-concept, your self-concept, your ideas and feelings about yourself. So when someone says something to you, you believe that your self-concept is now being challenged. Therefore, you react accordingly. Now, hold on a second. Before you shut this off, because, you're offended, let's deal with this thing. Because if your first thought is, I'm not offended, ain't nobody offended, I'm not insecure, well, I got some news for you. You're highly offended. So just kind of chill for a moment. See, here's the thing. When it comes to offense, we have difficulty discerning the difference between help and hurt. Why? Because we have been hurt in the past and it is still unresolved. So my question for you today is, who hurt you? No, really, think about that for a moment. It's time to acknowledge that you were hurt by something someone did or someone said, no matter what it was. The point is that it caused you pain, and that pain has stayed with you. See, we think that things in our past just stay in our past, but I got news for you. Here's your news flash for today. These things travel with you, day to day, year to year. It's like a wound. So think about a wound. If you continue to walk around with a wound that is uncared for, not treated properly, or unacknowledged, it doesn't mean that that wound doesn't exist. It just basically means that you ignored it, but it's still there. And the fact that it was improperly cared for will cause you immeasurable damage the longer it remains. The longer you wait, the longer it remains ignored, the more work it takes to heal and resolve the damage or the effects that it has caused you. But here's the great news that I have for you today. The wound always has the ability to heal when you stop ignoring it. In this case, the wounds of your heart can be healed. Those emotional scars from the hurt that you continue to carry can actually be healed. But you must be willing to surrender the unhealed hurt and the unresolved pain to God. Now, I know we don't like this idea because we somehow feel, we somehow believe, or somehow get caught up in the notion that the person who owes you something or the person who hurt you owes you something, and that's the only way that you can move on. It's like this weird thought that, well, if they hurt me, then if they acknowledge that they hurt me, then that's how I can be healed. So what you're basically saying is, well, if you hurt me, then you are the only one that has the power to heal me. Think about how deep that is. That the person who hurt you is the only one on this earth that has the power to heal you. That's basically what you're saying by they owe you, with the mindset of if they don't acknowledge what they have done to you, then you can't move on. That's a lot of control. That's a lot of control that you have given them over your life, over your future, over your ability to live, and your ability to be whole. Now, you can keep on holding on to that, and you can stay stuck in your past, or you can move on with the future that you desire without that individual. And the way you do that is with forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful tool. The key to forgiveness is that it is more for you and about you than it is about the other person. See, you're trying to hold on, hoping that your actions to get someone to do something that you want, it's going to resolve everything. If I just show up, if I just call, if I just hold on, if I just keep persuading them, if I keep telling them, if I keep pushing them, then maybe they'll hear me. Maybe they'll acknowledge. More than likely, that person's been hurt. You don't know what's happened in their past. So how do you expect a hurt person to come forth and help heal you? They don't have the power to do that. They're not there themselves. And the mere fact that you're trying to keep pushing and keep controlling that situation is basically the art of manipulation and control. Why would you stoop so low to try to control anyone, especially when that person is not worthy of another second of your time? Would it not be best to simply let them go than to have them and everything that they have done to you weigh you down, keeping you constantly preoccupied with them? See, forgiveness allows you to let them go, even without them knowing. You don't have to show up and let them know, I forgive you, I'm letting you go. Those are antics. Doesn't mean you're really letting them go. That's still manipulation. You have to understand that you may not always get to talk to that person who hurt you, but you can talk to someone. Prayer definitely helps. And depending on the situation, you may need to talk to a professional, coach, a counselor, therapist, a spiritual leader, or a combination of all. Because a combination can actually have a very profound effect on your life. Let me show you how offense also shows up, because it shows up everywhere in your life. It can become a form of self-righteousness. It breeds anger and hatred. It cannot coexist with love. Therefore, constantly working against it, exhibiting itself in a form of pride, hopelessness, denial, and working to trap you in its snare, to cause you to fall and basically take you out, leaving you in a world of loneliness and desperation, suffering and lack. You want to be able to move from self-righteousness. Remind yourself that, you know what? You're not always right. You don't always have the answer. I mean, do you really always have to be right? Do you have to know everything all the time? This is where we learn to be humble. Not to mention, you don't have to be perfect either. You don't have to always have it together. And you should be able to be patient and kind to others where they are in their life. So remember, I talked about the person that hurt you. The more that you have peace in your life, you'll be able to look at them and realize there are things going on with them that is out of my control. But one thing that I can have is peace. So therefore, I can move on and I can realize that that has nothing to do with me. So here's another step to help you with it when it comes to offense. Apologize when you offend. That's right. Because you offend people. So be willing to listen when others express that you have offended them. Because as much as you believe, or as much as you feel, or as much as you have actually been hurt, you have hurt others. Because as you have lived and carried on that hurt day to day, remember that unresolved forgiveness, that unresolved hurt, that unresolved pain has kind of manifested itself in different aspects of your life. And you have now projected that onto other people. So it's important for you to apologize when you have offended. Now, of course, you want to use some discernment here, because sometimes the person that says that you offended them is probably in the same place that you were when you were dealing with unhealed hurt. So this can be a little bit of a slippery slope. The key here is to never be too proud to apologize when you are in the wrong. And here's a kicker for you. When you say, sorry, you feel like I hurt you. Sorry, you feel like I offended you. It's not an apology. So remember that. Listen, when you're working through the steps of dealing with the pains of your past, it changes how you interact with others. You no longer mishandle people through your pain. Instead, you interact with them from a peaceful place, no longer offended. You start extending peace, grace, and compassion to others. Now, how is that for walking in purpose? Who knew that simply living a life filled with true peace of mind, could change so much, including your sense of purpose? I know this is probably not the message that you expected today, but my goal and my job is to help you to understand how so many aspects of our lives keep us from living with purpose. And sometimes the pains of our past really becomes that barrier. But the key is forgiveness. So I challenge you today to forgive those who have hurt you so that you can have peace. Choose to forgive so that you can have peace. And as you walk in peace, you will be able to extend peace, extend grace, and extend compassion to others. My name is Shawanda Randolph. I am here to help you to live with purpose and on purpose as God created you. May you live in peace and have the peace that surpasses all understanding. And may your heart be healed. Have a blessed and